Welcome to this explainer, everyone. The stakes literally couldn't be higher right now. We're looking at a massive, and I mean massive, showdown at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey as two absolute footballing giants go head-to-head in this 2026 World Cup Group C opener. You put Brazil and Morocco on the same pitch right now, you are absolutely guaranteed fireworks.
To kick things off, we've got to ask the big question that is on literally every single soccer fan's mind right now. Can the rising Atlas Lions actually pull off an upset against the traditional powerhouse? It's your classic matchup of historical dominance versus recent explosive momentum. And honestly, the answer to that question is going to set the tone for the entire tournament.
Before we dive into the weeds, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the Group C showdown, look at Brazil's quest for glory, Morocco's trailblazing rise, the tactics and key battles, and finally, wrap it up with predictions and betting odds.
All right, Section 1, the Group C showdown. When you look at the tail of the tape here, it's wild just how evenly matched these two giants actually are on paper. You have Brazil, currently ranked 6th in the world by FIFA, guided by the legendary Carlo Ancelotti, and proudly wearing those 5 famous stars on their chest. But then, right across from them, Morocco sits just 2 spots behind at 8th in the rankings. Managed by Mohamed Ouahabi, they bring some serious, undeniable recent pedigree as the 2022 World Cup semifinalists and the 2025 AFCON champions. So yeah, scratch the underdog narrative. This is a genuine clash of heavyweights.
Moving right along to Section 2, Brazil's quest for glory.
Okay, the number 24. This number holds incredible historical weight for the Seleção. See, Brazil's current 24-year World Cup drought, which stretches back to their last win in 2002, mirrors the exact same 24-year drought they experienced between 1970 and 1994. And guess where they finally broke that curse back in 94? Right here in the USA. I mean, the narrative symmetry is just impossible to ignore, isn't it? They are absolutely desperate for history to repeat itself on North American soil.
But look, their recent road to this tournament hasn't been a walk in the park. They actually struggled mightily in the CONMEBOL qualifying, finishing an uncharacteristic 5th. For a team of Brazil's stature, that is a massive reality check. Plus, they've only won 3 of their last 6 friendlies. So, bringing in Ancelotti, their first foreign manager in decades, well, that was a huge paradigm shift. It was a move born of pure necessity, designed to inject some world-class tactical discipline into a squad that is just teeming with raw talent. They really need him to steady the ship.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 3, Morocco's trailblazing rise.
26. Just let that number sink in for a second. Morocco is riding an unbelievable 26-game unbeaten streak, stretching all the way back to August 2025. When a team goes that long without tasting defeat, winning just becomes a habit. That run has completely solidified their status. They're the highest-ranked African side, a genuine contender, and they're carrying all this continental momentum along with the passionate backing of a massive global diaspora. They don't just hope to survive anymore. They step onto the pitch expecting to dictate the game. And Ancelotti's own words prove that Brazil isn't treating this like some David versus Goliath warm-up match. He openly acknowledges Morocco as a highly organized team with quality in all lines, making it crystal clear his squad has great respect for them. Ancelotti knows that if Brazil doesn't execute perfectly on both ends of the pitch, they're going to be punished. Make no mistake, the Brazilian camp knows exactly what kind of buzzsaw they're walking into.
Let's get into the tactical weeds. Section 4, tactics and key battles.
First things first, we have to talk about the key absences because this changes things. Brazil is missing their talisman, Neymar, due to a calf injury, alongside Wesley. That forces a major shift in how they're going to create chances in the final third. But hey, Morocco's dealing with a major defensive headache of their own. They're without Nayef Aguerd, out with a groin injury, and winger Abde Azazuli. There's also a slight doubt over Nussair Mizraoui with a shoulder issue, though he is expected to push through. So both managers are having to adapt their master plans right out of the gate.
So, looking at how they match up in these predicted 4-2-3-1 formations, the ultimate test is going to be how Morocco's relatively inexperienced center-back pairing of Issa Diop and Shadi Riyad adjusts to Brazil's lethal front four. Morocco will have to rely really heavily on goalkeeper Yassine Bounou and captain Achraf Hakimi to organize that backline against absolute ballers like Vinicius Jr., Paqueta, and Rafinha. The pressure inside that penalty area, it's going to be immense.
The core tactical chess match we'll be watching is Brazil's potent offense trying to crack Morocco's disciplined defense, all while frantically trying to mitigate Hakimi's counterattacks. Ancelotti is famous for exploiting vertical spaces, letting incredibly fast wingers like Vinicius Jr. and Rafinha run in behind the defense.
Morocco, on the flip side, under Uwabi, will probably try to absorb all that pressure using their highly organized midfield spine. And once they win the ball back, expect them to launch rapid, sweeping counterattacks using Hakimi's elite two-way abilities to catch Brazil completely out of position.
All right, let's talk numbers. Section 5, predictions and betting odds.
There is some fascinating value to be found here, especially when you consider the appealing odds on a Morocco double chance, given their recent giant-killing form. While the bookmakers do have Brazil as the clear favorite at 1.64, grabbing Morocco or a draw at 6-4 looks incredibly tempting for a team that, remember, hasn't lost in 26 matches. Plus, the odds of both teams scoring sit at 2.05, perfectly aligning with both teams' recent track records of finding the back of the net. And if you're looking at player props, Brazil's Rafinha is a really intriguing option to score anytime at 2.90, especially since he was Brazil's top scorer during their qualifying phase.
Now, here's a very specific, highly lucrative data trend you'll want to watch closely. The second half could absolutely explode with goals based on how both these teams have played recently. The odds for the second half being the highest scoring are set at 23-20. And why does this matter? Well, Brazil has shown a distinct vulnerability late in matches. They've actually conceded 5 of their last 7 goals in the second period. Conversely, Morocco comes alive later on, scoring 4 of their last 5 in the second half. If this game is tight at the break, expect major fireworks in the final 45 minutes.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to ponder before the whistle blows. Will Brazil's unmatched World Cup heritage and Ancelotti's mastermind tactics secure the victory, or will Morocco's fearless momentum and disciplined structure prove that a new world order is truly taking over international football? Either way, this opening clash is absolute must-watch TV. Thanks for joining us for this explainer and enjoy the match.